Well, hello and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the audio edition, the edition for the multitaskers and the people who want to build up their imagination. And the reason for that is you see on your screen today's tarot layout. It's all you're going to see. No action, nothing moving, just this. And that's important because what happens is you get into sort of a meditative state. And you follow along with my narration, and you begin to fill in the parts and pieces of the story with your own imagination. If there's moving pictures, you won't. You will absorb the pictures. In other words, you will let them create the images for you as opposed to you creating the images for yourself. And of course, because it is an audio version, it means you can get up, get a cup of coffee, tea, cereal, sandwich, whatever you want, still listen and still benefit. It frees you up mentally and physically. So let's get to it. Alrighty, we work on the bottom first, then we move to the top row. The two center cards, top and bottom, are the critical cards, the essential cards. And we begin on the bottom row with the oracle card, Neverending Story. Kind of an interesting card because here you see a fairy on top, obviously in thought or agonizing something deep. And below her, the sands of time, and with it there is a heart. The never-ending story. By the way, the number here in the right corner, 37, 3 and 7, 1. This is the beginning. It may have been a never-ending story in your life, but you're beginning a new adventure. Or you can. Remember, you can always choose to opt in or opt out. That's your option there, right? So that's the theme of the reading, never-ending story. Something repeating. And at this moment, you're not exactly happy with all that repetition. So let's begin. Front row, all the way to the left, King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is a very loving, wise, tolerant, caring person. He's willing to help others. He's also a very subtle influence, not flashy, like, let's say, the King of Wands would be, right? But he is in touch with his emotions, sometimes too much, sometimes too little. But the King of Cups certainly is connected to your emotions and how you feel about yourself. So this never-ending story, and boy, I just really can't tell whether this fairy in this card is agonizing or deep in thought. My guess is she's agonizing a little bit because you have the heart just below her. And just the look on her face looks like it's just, oh, God. So what does the King of Cups tell me? First card out. Well, it tells me that maybe you need to work on yourself. You need to be King of Cups to yourself. You need to be tolerant to yourself and caring to yourself. I know I talk about that a lot. But if you look at the state of the world, we don't see much of that. We see a lot of narcissism, which is not loving yourself. That's a definite mark of insecurity. But real loving of yourself allows you to love others. And you see that the king is definitely on the water, the lake, the ocean, or whatever. He is floating in emotion. And in your case, that can be both good or bad. The reason is the next card, King of Swords. It's what you're thinking, what you've been thinking. And the Nine of Swords is always coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's in the middle of the night where you start thinking about, geez, if I just did, and those kinds of things. And it leads nowhere. It creates a lot of agony. And the expression on his face in the Nine of Swords is very similar to the fairy's face on the oracle card. Right? A lot of agonizing. How do I really take better care of myself? How do I respect myself? How do I value myself? King of Cups says that you should, that you can. But the Nine of Swords says so far you're battling with that. Not surprising. There's a lot of outside interference that is aimed at tearing down your self-image, your self-worth. But then we have the next card over, Queen of Swords. And this is operating under a different energy. Queen of Swords is very perceptive, realistic, straight talking. It's what you really need to do with yourself. You know, the King of Cups tells me that maybe there is just too much emotion. You're too confused, too many thoughts, too many just interferences so that you're lost. And what you need is a little straight talking, straight thinking with yourself. Because remember, when you can do it with yourself, you can do it for other people. You can't do it until. So I think rather than drowning in an ocean of emotion, trying so hard, but yet not knowing how to do it, the Nine of Swords, the Queen of Swords tells me there's energy coming your way, or you can take an attitude where you straight talk with yourself. Don't cut around the corners. Why are you in the shape that you're in? Why are you feeling like you're in a position where you're in a never-ending story? You're just going nowhere. Well, don't worry, you're going to get a little help. Eight of Wands. Wands, of course, are positivity, enthusiasm. And the Eight of Wands said things are about to pick up. There's acceleration. You're moving forward positively. There's some action. And in fact, sometimes the Eight of Wands says there's even some travel involved. And we're getting to the point now where Mercury retrograde is over. It's still going to unwind a little bit the next week, but for all intents and purposes, it's over. It's moving forward. This is a time for action. You've had plenty of time to think, plenty of time to feel, plenty of time to blend the two. The key is that you have to work on really loving and valuing yourself. Don't put up with the noise that you're getting from the people or the world around you. Step ahead. The Eight of Wands says this is the time to step ahead. And in fact, I suspect 2023 is going to be pretty much that for a lot of people. Stepping ahead, finally, after 3 years of just confusion and agony. The never-ending story. Oh, some other crisis comes up. If it's not a war, it's another pandemic. It's something coming up that keeps you locked. You're done with that. Go up to the second row. You're ready for healing. Star card. Ooh, love that a bunch. Star card is hope, is guidance, generosity, inspiration, healing. And you notice, if you can see the card well enough, she is pouring 2 cups of water into a pond, an ocean, a lake, I don't know. A lot of positivity, a lot of emotion. You see the star behind her, that enlightenment, that guiding idea. And as usual, it's love that does the major healing. That's the key. And again, so we began with the King of Cups, the positivity thing with yourself. You are valuable. You are lovable. The star simply reinforces. King of Wands says this is the chance. This is the time for you to plug into life. You know, the King of Wands, leadership, innovation, charisma, a little bit of a risk taker. But when he takes risks, he benefits. And to add to that idea of risk-taking, we got the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is creativity, beginnings, inspiration, courage, enthusiasm. You are entering a time where you can be enthusiastic about life. It's like you're being plugged in, USB port, right? Phone is dead. Plug it in. Boom. All of a sudden it comes to life. That's where you are. This rinse and repeat cycle, like the tarot is entitled today, is I've done that purposely. Rinse out the negativity and repeat. Go back in. Go back in. Keep trying. Keep trying. This is your year to break out. It may not be spectacular, but this is your year to start moving towards positivity, towards enthusiasm, towards self-worth. Change your thinking, says the Knight of Swords. The Knights always bring gifts, and the Knight of Swords brings incisiveness, intelligence, knowledge, acting with certainty. The last 3 years, maybe your whole life, frankly, you have been doing round and round. You've been doing what you've been told, you've been believing what they told you, and you've been going nowhere. Not just in terms of material success, but in terms of spiritual success, emotional success. You don't feel locked in. You don't feel plugged into your life. You're saying, that's it, that's over. I am important, I am valuable, I am lovable. I'm going to start taking that star energy and healing. I'm going to take the King of Wands and Ace of Wands enthusiasm, and I'm going to get enthusiastic about me and my life. May not be a real reason to right at the moment. I don't see it. That doesn't make any difference. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to believe it. The Knight of Swords says you're going to start to think it. Knight of Swords, very, very important at this time with that confidence and that sense of adventure. The never-ending story can end. You can move forward finally. It's your choice. And the reminder of that again is the vice versa card. Second row, middle card, key, tied into the middle row or middle card in the bottom row. It's a question of love. It's a question of love of yourself. You want to wrap up this never-ending story? Rinse away the past and repeat your efforts. Rinse away the past and repeat your efforts. In other words, don't give up. Keep trying. You can make the difference. You can make the change. You can quit that never-ending story. You know how to do it. Love yourself. Value yourself. Change your thinking, your thoughts. Pick up some enthusiasm, some positivity. And you will end the never-ending story that you have called your life. It's what 2023 holds you, baby. Hope you can grab on and ride it out. So, that's it for today. Another tarot reading for you tomorrow if you choose. If not, between now and the next time you and I have a chance to do tarot together, as always, peace and blessings.